everybody. We are live. We are live. We are local every morning, 6 to 9:30 a.m. right here on FM 96.9, The Game, AM 740, HD 101.1-2. You can also find us, by the way, on social media. We are live. You can view us. Just go to YouTube, look for the Open Mic live stream, and there we are, live and in color. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel. Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect. He's on board, as always, as is Austin Pistolka, the man we call the Sultan of Sound.
Yeah, that's right, Mike, and I gotta tell you something, brother. I'm blowing up on TikTok once again. At Actually Average had 40,000 views yesterday. Woo!
Wow.
Gotta tell you, I wrapped my knee with for squats for the first time ever, and apparently people like seeing people in pain on the internet. So,
whoa!
I know, we're all shocked.
Wow. By the way, we have a poll up right now at 96.9 The Game, and it has to do with the three open mic panelists here, myself, Austin Pistolka, and Adam Reardon. We want to know, in our primes, who do you think was the best athlete of us three? You can go vote on that and all of our other polls at 96.9 The Game. You can also give us a call, 407-916-8255. You can tweet us at 96.9 The Game, and you can text us on our Academy Sports and Outdoors text line, 50857. Do not ever forget, we give you chances to win money on this show. Your first chance coming up at 7:10 a.m. this morning to win $1,000, and then we do it 12 times throughout the day right here on this station, just on the 10, 7:10 a.m., 8:10 a.m., 9:10 a.m. Make an appointment. Listen for the keyword. When you hear that keyword, go to our website, 969thegame.com, enter that word, and you could win $1,000. Compliments of International Diamond Center. All right, our open mic early morning inspirational quote of the day. From the great Vincent Aloysius Lombardi, who once said, and I quote, "Perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection, we can catch excellence," end quote. Intellect?
It sounds like he maybe spruced up the old saying about, if you reach for the stars or you reach for the moon, you can end up on the stars or something like that. Like, it's one of those, hey, if you aim for perfection, you may not you may not ever be perfect, but we can land on excellence. I always say mine is the one I use a lot, and I don't think I got it from Vincent Aloysius Lombardi, is I won't demand perfection. I can't expect perfection, but I'll always demand progress. That's mine. That's mine.
That's a good one. Oh, yeah.
I came up with that one by myself. That is not anonymous. Yeah. That is Adam Reardon. So whatever that little squiggly line is at the bottom that gives credit to the guy who created that quote, I want that one. Yeah. I can't expect perfection, but I'll always demand progress.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
A good one.
And if you put a sunset behind that and make a poster, will you?
Yeah. That's almost as good as mine. Comfort is the cancer of ambition.
I'm telling you. I mean, that should be hanging in somebody's cubicle right now. Both of those right there. Inspirational quotes to keep the workforce going.
Compliments of open mic. Or the other one I've come up with, don't take what Austin Pistolka says with a grain of salt. Take it with a shaker of salt.
That's correct.
Yeah.
That is correct. Gosh, now I need to think of a motivational thing. Dude, be better. Dang it.
Yeah, you can. That'll be your homework for tomorrow.
Right? Yeah, come up with a very wise term. Yeah, okay.
Eloquent, profound quote.
Yeah. Cool, you know me.
Well, here's what I do know. No chance that he comes up with one tomorrow.
That's correct. Tomorrow, no. Monday, maybe.
Monday, maybe.
All right. That's
so never put off till Monday what could be done on Friday.
That's correct. Keep rolling the rock.
All right, let's start with this. LeBron James posted and then later deleted a tweet yesterday about the fatal shooting of Ma'Khia Bryant, a 16-year-old black girl in Columbus, Ohio. In a series of tweets, James explained why he deleted the post. The since-deleted tweet by James showed a photo of Officer Nicholas Reardon, who's white, with an accompanying caption, quote, "You're next," in all capital letters, hashtag accountability, along with an hourglass emoji. All right. So the body cam footage released in Columbus showed Reardon getting out of his car at a house where police had been dispatched after someone had called 911 saying they were being physically threatened. As the officer walks toward a group of people on the driveway, Bryant can be seen swinging a knife wildly at another girl or woman who falls backwards. The officer shouts several times to get down. Bryant then charges at another girl or woman who is pinned against the car, and from a few feet away, with people on either side of him, the officer fires 4 shots, and Bryant slumps to the ground. The knife lies on the sidewalk next to her. Bryant was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. This is in Columbus, Ohio, which is about 125 miles from Akron, where LeBron grew up. Again, the Bryant shooting occurred Tuesday after a jury in Minneapolis, of course, found former police officer Derek Chauvin guilty of 2 counts of murder, 1 count of manslaughter. James responded to the Chauvin verdict with a single word: accountability. And then yesterday, he tweeted the photo of the other officer, Nicholas Reardon, with the caption I just read you: "You're next," hashtag accountability, and then he deletes it. All right. So he explained why he deleted it. I'll just read you some of the reasons he said he deleted it. Anger does not do us any good, and that includes myself. Gathering all the facts and educating does, though. My anger still is here for what happened to that little girl. My sympathy for the family, and may justice prevail. He later tweeted, "I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer. It's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. I am so desperate for more," and then on all caps, accountability. Okay. All right, so there's the backstory. Those are the facts right there. Okay, so we spent all day yesterday talking about how athletes are using their platform and their voices like never before. And I think we all came to the agreement yesterday. We're all for that. I'm for that, because I think athletes and coaches, as we said yesterday, teams, leagues, they've done a lot of good things in the wake of George Floyd's murder. But I also think this, all right, and this is addressing what happened with LeBron yesterday. Like it or not, and like Adam Reardon said yesterday, athletes have influence, and they have a lot of influence. Much more influence than me or you have, all right? Like it or not, athletes and coaches are massive influencers of public opinion. If you're going to use your voice for social justice and other issues, then I think you need to use it responsibly. Let all the facts come in. Don't just tweet out a picture of a police officer with "you're next." Come on now. Let's not judge every police officer based on Derek Chauvin. Again, for LeBron to compare this officer to Derek Chauvin, especially before all the facts have come in, I think is absolutely wrong. And I'm glad he took down the tweets. I wish he hadn't tried to explain it away in one of the tweets by saying it wasn't about one police officer. Well, yeah, you made it about one police officer, LeBron James. You tweeted out a picture of him and said you're next. So you did make it about one officer. Those are my thoughts. Any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, one, when we speak from our hearts, not necessarily our heads, when we speak emotionally, and that, nowadays people communicate via text and tweet and all that stuff like that. And sometimes we don't think it through. We don't proofread it. We don't always do that. Sometimes you're going to misstep. I mean, think about some of the conversations you've had, emotional conversations. You probably say things that you wish you could take back, and that's going to happen with everybody. In regards to shouldn't we let all the facts play out before we, in this day and age, I'll go all the way back to the Duke lacrosse case and how I watched Nancy Grace just absolutely eviscerate the Duke lacrosse program and those players and all this stuff. And she didn't wait for the facts to come out, But this is the day and age we're in. So people are going to make that mistake on both sides of the fence. I mean, people are going to defend police to the end without knowing the facts. You know what I mean? So we're going to get that on both sides. So that part, you're going to misstep. No question about it. What I do appreciate, though, from anybody, and this is not just LeBron, is what I really appreciate? People who are willing to say, hey, listen, I may have misstepped here. I'm walking some of this back. We talked about this with Dan Mullen, right? And one of the things I felt like Dan Mullen could have done initially was just walk it back. Just say, hey, listen, I got emotional.
Hold on here.
Okay,
hold on here. I think you're letting LeBron off the hook a little bit here. All right. I mean, we always talk about athletes who apologize, but they don't really apologize. He said, I took the tweet down because it is being used to create more hate. He didn't say I took the tweet down because, I'm walking it back.
What did he say? He said something about...
He's essentially blaming other people on social media for why he took the tweet down. That's what he's doing.
I thought he said something in the tweet about, finding all the facts and stuff. Did he not say that?
He did say that.
Okay, yeah.
But on top of that...
So both can be true, Mike.
But he also... If he truly believes what he tweeted, but didn't want it to be taken that way, then he doesn't need to apologize for what he said because he still believes it. He does need to take it down if it's being used in the way that he wasn't planning on. That's also being responsible, taking it down for that reason. There is a difference between being sorry for what you said, which he may not be, and also being sorry for how it's being used.
Or being sorry that you didn't word it properly. He may mean like you're next, as in, hey, you're the latest police officer in the news for shooting a young black person. You're next. You are going to how the public held Officer Chauvin and then the judicial system held him accountable. You're next for this accountability. Now, again, these are two different cases. All right, there are some similarities, but very different.
Absolutely,
I'll say they're two different cases, for crying out loud. And for him to compare the cases, and this is yes, it's a misstep. If you're LeBron James and you have the influence LeBron James has on social justice and social issues and racial issues, you don't make this misstep. You don't make this misstep. I'm sorry, you just don't do it. You have to have some responsibility if you're LeBron James. A lot of people look to you. A lot of people look to you for your opinions on very important issues. If you're going to press that button, no, you don't get to say it was just a misstep. That's a big mistake when you press that button, not just a misstep. If it's you, Adam Reardon, it's a misstep. If it's LeBron James, it's a huge, monumental mistake. And I'm glad he took it down.
Yeah,
we have a poll.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, but we have a poll on this. You can go vote on it. There's another tweeting controversy that has to do with the Derek Chauvin verdict. We'll get to that story next. I want to get your opinion on Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders, as well. That's next on Open Mic. Didn't get my work done during the break. Debating with Pistolka about LeBron's non-apology. Apology, delete, undeleted tweet.
It got passionate. I could hear it through the glass a little bit. Like soundproof room. I could hear Austin there. I couldn't tell if you guys were laughing or joking or what.
It's just a differing of opinion, and it really comes down to Mike is very much of the journalistic mindset of you have to
be credible and responsible.
More so be accurate in your words. Don't let emotion cloud the words that you're trying to say, and be accurate. Whereas I know that LeBron James is not a journalist, and he is passionate about this. So I'm going to give him the grace to explain what he was trying to do with that tweet instead of what people perceived it as.
I think you guys, I think you guys are, because you like LeBron so well, and I like LeBron too, all right? But I'm not going to give LeBron the benefit of the doubt any more than we give other athletes the benefit of the doubt when they do something maybe that people are critical of, and then they come out with a non-apology apology, and we often criticize those non-apology apologies. Sort of like when Urban Meyer hired the racist strength coach, and then he comes out with that ridiculous statement, about why he let the guy go, and
but there's a difference between LeBron James and Urban Meyer.
Yes. Here's the difference.
Urban Meyer's a jackass.
Urban Meyer's a jackass, and we don't like him, and we like LeBron. That's the difference, in my opinion.
And I also one of the things I give LeBron a bit of a pass for is that this is all emotionally charged, whereas it's not an emotionally charged thing to hire a racist buddy of yours. You know what I mean? Like, they had to go through a few different layers, a couple of interview processes and stuff like that. LeBron tweeted something out. Like 99% of the rest of the people on Twitter, he tweeted out something and he looked back on it and goes, you know what?
That didn't go the way I wanted it to.
That probably didn't land the way I thought it was going to land. Okay, I mean, he's not the only one. I mean, the Raiders had their issues yesterday, or was it yesterday as well?
With the tweet that's still up.
2 days ago. It's not still up.
It is still up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
what? I just checked it.
No. Let's get to this story real quick because I want to get you.
At least
opinion.
LeBron James deletes his tweets. These idiots over there.
Again, I'm tone deaf as well. All right, because again, let me find the story real quick. Where the hell is it? Where is it?
So the Raiders tweeted out a photo that says "I can breathe" for 2021, and it was supposed to be them basically saying we can take a breath of a sigh of relief. We can justice was served and all that sort of stuff. But it came across very, very tone deaf, considering "I can't breathe" was used in all of the protests, because that was something George Floyd was saying as he was on the ground for 9 minutes.
Go. Here we go. All right, so George Floyd's brother, Philonise Floyd, he issued a statement yesterday to support the Raiders tweet. And the tweet was originally sent out Tuesday after the verdict came out. I can breathe. All right. Obviously, as Austin just mentioned, what George Floyd told officers is I can't breathe. So the Raiders sent out the tweet after the verdict, I can breathe. Raiders owner Mark Davis told ESPN it was his idea. And he meant it as no disrespect. And he said he took the lead from Philonise Floyd, who said after the verdict, today we are all able to breathe again. All right. And so Philonise Floyd went on social media yesterday and supported Mark Davis. Here's what he tweeted. All right. Now more than ever, we must come together as one and continue on this fight. For the first time in almost a year, our family has taken a breath, and I know that goes for so many across the nation and globe as well. Let's take this breath together in honor of my brother who couldn't. Let's do it for George. On behalf of our family, I would like to extend our deepest gratitude to the Las Vegas Raiders organization and its leadership for their support of our family, for and on and on. All right. So that's what it said. And again, maybe I'm tone deaf here. I thought the tweet was well intentioned. I didn't think there was any.
There's no question it was well intentioned. Yeah, but now here's the thing: had they had tweeted that after, was that George Floyd's brother?
Yes.
After he made those comments, it came out and it came out after.
No, they did.
Well, so but if in the context, as
George Floyd's brother said,
yes,
is that what you're saying?
Yeah, or I guess the part that stinks is for most of us out here, we didn't hear what he said. I can breathe. How about we can breathe? We can all breathe again, or something like what? It just sounded so much more eloquently put when. And maybe
we would have. Yeah, I'll give you that. We would have been much better than
because we as a country were holding our breath in that moment. I
can. Yeah, it said I can breathe.
Yeah, because George Floyd was saying I can't breathe, and it was sort of it just missed its mark. There's no question in my mind that the intention was good. I mean, what's the old adage? No good deed goes unpunished.
Correct.
This was a place. This came from a place. It just landed wrong. Now
I didn't know this either. Austin just made reference to it, and Mark Davis told one of the media outlets he didn't know that "I can breathe" was sort of used by protesters and supporters of police.
I don't know how you didn't know that.
No way.
I don't know how
you didn't know that,
that.
Mike. You didn't see people with the masks on. The masks all said, "I can't. I can't breathe." But you probably thought it was like in protest of wearing a mask.
No. The phrase "I can breathe." I can breathe was used by protesters who were supporting police. Sort of the anti.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that
either. And that's why people were sort of. That's one of the reasons people were ripping Mark Davis, because they said, "Well, that's what the anti-George Floyd crowd was."
I bet you can breathe. You don't have a 250-pound man sitting on your neck. Of course you can breathe.
Yeah.
Out of here.
Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, all right. So those are the two tweeting controversies from the last couple days. Straight ahead, we're going to get to our thought-provoking daily poll. Keyontae Johnson is on the come. good news coming out of Gainesville yesterday. University of Florida basketball star Keyontae Johnson said he is hopeful that he will play next season for the Gators, but first doctors must clear him because of his uncertain health status. He announced on Twitter he will not enter the NBA draft, and he does plan on being back in Gainesville next year. The post was again, we haven't heard much from Keyontae Johnson since that very frightening incident back in December when Florida was playing Florida State. Everybody remembered it. He collapsed on the court, had to be taken off in a stretcher. He was unconscious. Many people feared the worst for Johnson following that. I mean, there are a lot of people who thought he was going to die, for crying out loud. It was that scary. We didn't hear anything for a few days about his status. And, finally he was in a coma, and then finally he comes out of the coma, and he spent most of the season on Florida's bench as a de facto coach, never returned to the court. So, again, this guy was he was going to be the Gators' best player last year. He was voted the preseason SEC Player of the Year, led the team in scoring the previous year, was all SEC the previous year, and he entered that FSU game. He was averaging like 20 points per game entering that FSU game, and, man, his return next season would be major, major news, not only to Gator fans, but in the world of college basketball, because it became a huge national story. Here was his, here's what he tweeted out. Let me see if I can find his tweet. Quote, "I am progressing and steadily making progress daily in my health. I am patiently waiting on medical clearance. I plan to keep working to prepare for the upcoming season. My story continues to be written and driven by God. Go Gators. All love, Keyontae." That's what he put on social media yesterday. Again, great news. I mean, I got to tell you, we've talked about the comeback story McKenzie Milton would be if he, comes back to the field next year and he's starting for Florida State at quarterback. We would have two incredible comeback stories if Keyontae Johnson comes back next year and plays for the Gators. Again, when that happened, you guys remember it, didn't we? We were talking about Hank Gathers in the same sentence as Keyontae Johnson. That's how scary that incident was. If he comes back next year and plays for the Gators, I think his comeback story would rival McKenzie Milton's. Thoughts?
You said rival McKenzie Milton's?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Listen, and McKenzie Milton, we knew that his career was threatened. No question about that. You see that injury to his knee.
Well, his leg was in danger of being amputated.
We were talking about Hank Gathers.
Yeah, I know.
That's life-threatening. You start talking about the heart, that's life-threatening. To battle back from that, listen, we just talked about Alex Smith retiring, who came back from 17 knee surgeries, leg surgeries. They tried to, made sure, with the infection, save his leg. That's impressive. I'm not trying to take anything away from McKenzie Milton, but you start talking about your heart, and you start talking about, issues that could have killed you at that moment, or what we thought. It was so scary. Yet, listen, no, you feel for somebody who may lose their career playing sports, but somebody who may lose their life, and in a battle back, and if he can play at any sort of level like he was playing before he went down, that'd be unbelievable, in my opinion, because when you watch that thing play out the way that it did, you would almost say, as a parent, as a coach, as any, dude, don't risk it. What are you doing? Why no, let's not go back.
Well, here's the thing, though. We don't really know anything about. You talked about the heart. We don't really know what the medical incident was. Again, Keyontae Johnson has not. The Florida's obviously not going to release any medical information because it would be, the HIPAA laws and privacy issues. But Keyontae Johnson also has not explained what exactly happened with him. So we don't really know. And I assume, when if he does come back and he's talking to the media, I assume he's, probably, not that he has to. He's not obligated to tell us what happened to him, but we don't know what happened. So again, yeah, but you're right. When it happened, no matter what it was, we feared the worst. We feared the worst. I was there when McKenzie Milton went down, and we just thought, oh, he's hurt. It's a bad injury because you saw it, the replays of it, and you knew it was a bad injury. But we didn't know that he'd been rushed to the hospital and his leg was in danger. But if it had been 30 minutes later, they would have probably had to amputate his leg. We didn't know any of that at the time. We didn't fear the worst with McKenzie Milton. But you're right, with Keyontae Johnson, we feared that he may end up being the next Hank Gathers. So anyway, Austin, do you have our thought-provoking daily poll?
I do. The thought-provoking daily poll, which you can find on our Twitter at 969 The Game, is this. If both players return healthy and are back in the starting lineup next season, who would be the more inspirational comeback story? Gators basketball star Keyontae Johnson, Florida State quarterback McKenzie Milton, or is it too close to call?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Actually, the other add-on to that is, Mike Norvell's not coaching for his job this year. Keyontae Johnson could end up saving Mike White's job too.
That's very true.
Stop it. Yeah. Yeah, you sound like the Gator fans out there. Good Lord.
I don't know why Mike White hasn't been fired yet.
Yeah. All right, straight ahead. Go vote, by the way, at 96.9 The Game. Go vote on that poll and all of our other polls. Straight ahead, I want to know why Antonio Brown didn't settle this civil suit earlier, because yesterday he settled it, and evidently he's all good to play in the NFL now. That's next on Open Mic.
96.9 The Game.
the Orlando Pride. Alex Morgan back in the lineup for the first time in a long time. And they win last night 1-0. That's their first win in 2 years. Of course, they didn't play last year because of the pandemic. The NWSL season was canceled last year. They did not play in the tournament that they had during the summer last year because of COVID issues. So Alex Morgan back in the lineup. She gets the assist. Sydney LaRue kicks in the game winner. Alex Morgan, the last time she played was, again, it's been, 2019. And she didn't play much during 2019. So it was good to have the goal marked Sydney LaRue's first in a competitive non-friendly match since 2018. In Morgan's first assist for the Pride since that same season. So 3 years. We joked yesterday during the bridge, Adam Reardon, that Alex Morgan, because she hasn't played in so long for the Pride, because, you know, she was in Europe for a while playing on a professional team over there. Obviously, her U.S. national team duties. We were joking that when she took the pitch last night, she was the former coach was Tom Sermani. He was fired like 2 years ago. Hey, where's Coach Sermani at?
Did she have a baby too? Wasn't that part of her thing?
She had a baby. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
she came back and she's like, "Who are all these people?" Had to introduce herself to half the locker room.
Right. By the way, other Orlando soccer news. I don't know if you guys have seen the highlight, but go on. You can go to OrlandoSentinel.com right now. Read Julia Poe's story about it.
Cheap plug.
Yeah, there you go. So Daryl DK, who of course is on loan to Barnsley. All right, he had a bicycle kick goal the other night that was incredible, and everybody knows the impact he's making. So since he joined Barnsley, they're 12-2-2. All right, he has 9 goals in 16 games with Barnsley. Where's Barnsley? What league are they in? They're not in the Premier League. What league are they
They're
in?
at the second level. Okay. I think it's called the Championship Division.
But they're going to get promoted, evidently.
Well,
they're in the running to get promoted.
Yeah, so the top 6 teams are eligible for promotion. The top 2 teams are promoted to the Premier League. And then there's a 4-team tournament to...
Where's Barnsley at in those rankings?
They're in the 6th. So they would play against the 3rd seed, and 4 and 5 would play against each other, and then the winners of those go to, I believe, Wembley Stadium, and then they play a one game play-in, and the winner of that game gets promotion. It's actually pretty cool.
So if Barnsley gets promoted, they'll probably want to buy.
Oh yes,
they'll buy Daryl DK's. What do you call it? Buy his contract.
I mean they'll pay the transfer fee.
Okay, so $20 million. All right. So they'll
look at what he's making a week right now, and the MLS say, "Sure, yes, we'll pay. We'll take over that contract."
Yeah, but then they also have to pay Orlando City $20 million.
Yeah, they'll pay $20 million, and then they'll probably have to restructure his deal over there. I think that's how that works. Not 100% sure on the finances, but I mean his impact to that team, because when he signed there, I want to say they were 12th. When he was loaned out there, he was 12th. They just showed it on Sports Center right now. His goal for Barnsley, by the way, number 6 in the top 10. So there must be 5 really good things that are about to happen here. But they were 12th, and you're right, 12-2-2 since landing there, 9 goals. He's been such an impact player for them that even if Barnsley doesn't get promoted and say, okay, we want to keep this guy, we want to pay the $20 million. He's attracted so much attention. There were rumors that one of the big 6 in the Premier League were interested
like
in
Manchester U or Liverpool or one of those teams.
City, Chelsea. Those teams were interested in Daryl DK.
All the ones who backed out of the European Super League.
Yeah. Hey, listen.
Sounds like they got a little money to kick around now that they aren't doing that.
I mean, the interesting thing is those teams, like paying $20 million for a guy is like, hold on,
pocket change.
Let me go out to the car and see what's in those in the cup holder right now. Let me see what I got for you.
Look, I found a check for $35 million.
I didn't even know that was
like
here.
That's like the Magic signing Frank Murphy from the G League, right?
Exactly. But I mean, again, I mean, we kind of kid and we joke, but I mean, and kind of American soccer players over in Europe have gotten better. Pulisic has sort of paved the road, but it's always been kind of like oh yeah, that's cute. The American goes over there and then just gets shown what's. At this, I mean, what DK's doing in such a short period of time, I would love to see him with the opportunity to play in the Premier League or another of the more competitive leagues around the world. It'd be fantastic to see what he can do.
All right, we do have a poll up. We have a lot of polls up. Go to @969 the game and vote on all of our polls. The one we have on Daryl DK is this: Would you? And we're essentially talking to Orlando City fans. Would you rather see Daryl DK back for Orlando City soon, or see the team get $20 million from a European team for selling his contract?
That's going to be an easy one for fans. The fans are going to want DK back because if Flavio,
I'm with him.
If Flavio gets $20 million, it's not like he's dispersing that amongst the fans. Like, here's your share of the DK money.
He doesn't have to spend that on the team, right? He could just put that in his pocket.
Yeah. I guess so.
There's no rule that says you have to put that money back into other players, although that's what teams...
No, but because in the United States, there's no such thing as relegation. Over in Europe, if you try that routine, guess what happens? You don't have good players and you get relegated. And then that TV contract's...
Well, here's the other thing. I mean, Flavio's on the verge of selling the team, so why would he if he got $20 million, why would he put that back into the team that he's about to sell? I mean, you're not going to do that. You're going to put that in your pocket, right?
Yeah, but I think the price of the team, part of the valuation of that will be what's in the bank account for the team. The team account, yeah.
Maybe. Anyway, sort of like when you buy if you're going to sell your house, all right, you don't put a new pool in right before you sell it, even though, maybe you want to enjoy the pool for a couple months before you sell it, but you're not going to get your money back from the pool. You're probably not going to get your $20 million back.
For DK.
From the sale of, I don't know if that makes any sense or not. I don't know what I just said right there.
There's realtors out there going, no, Mike, you're wrong. The pool is what sells the home. It's the windows, Mike. That's what you needed to put in. Windows.
Double insulated windows is what you need. Yeah.
You got crown molding in there? You got crown molding?
Gotta have crown molding, don't you?
I'll tell you what, adds a touch of elegance to any estate.
Listen to Pistolka. He doesn't know what we're talking about.
I have no idea. You kidding me? I'm renting for life. Okay. I don't need to own a home. Okay.
If you've ever rented an apartment with crown molding, like, wait a minute, this is the same as my old one for $700. Now I'm paying $1,150. This damn crown molding is expensive.
That's right.
All right, before we do front page of the internet, we have another supplemental poll up, and here it is. All right, and I want each of us to state our case. In our prime, which member of the open mic team do you think was the best athlete? Me, Adam, or Austin? And you can go vote on that. All right. So all right, you guys, Adam, go ahead and state your case.
Okay. So I'm going to concede something to both of you. Okay. You guys will be easily the most accomplished athletes on the show because I, with the lack of any real parental supervision, was a terrible student. So therefore, my GPA,
would not allow you the opportunity
to participate in high school sports and stuff like that.
Plus, they didn't have sports team in reform school.
That sort of stuff. But I will say that I think that I am still. I played soccer my entire life. I was kind of like a specialized athlete. That's where I devoted all of my attention to. I didn't play in basketball leagues or baseball leagues or anything like that. Football or anything like that. I just strictly stuck to soccer growing up. But I will say that I believe in Ocala, where I spent my teenage years. I would say that I'm still a bit of a Sandlot legend.
Still, to this day.
To this day, I think that if I went to like a 18 to 20-year-old kid and I introduced myself, he'd be like, dude, my dad told me about you. He said you were the greatest quarterback / free safety combination in Sandlot football history in Ocala, Florida. As long as it wasn't raining, because I have these tiny Burger King hands, and so if it rained, the ball would slip out of my hands. But if it was dry weather, dry and sunny, oh my God, dropping dimes out there. Dropping dimes.
Okay. All right, so that is a weak argument. Slocala Sandlot.
Well, I'm just saying that there was no. I mean, I'm the greatest 3-point shooter in Marion County history. I honestly never met anybody go out there on a hot day. I mean, I was Steph Curry before Steph Curry was born. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, soccer is where I had. And I've won ping pong tournaments. Does that count? I've won.
Nice, solid.
I do have ping pong trophies. Yeah, no. I'm just an all. I'm an all. I won the Sunshine State Games discus for the 12 and under.
First of all, I know how Sunshine State Games used to work. You were probably the only person entered.
There was two, Mike. There was two. I did not win the silver. I did not win the silver. But I did get disqualified from the competitive walking. Because I signed up for it.
I
signed up for it, and I guess there's a technique
There's a
to
lot of
fast
rules.
walking.
Yes, there is a technique.
And I got one warning, and then I got booted. Nice. The lady's like, "Both your feet are off the ground. Both your feet are off the ground." I had no idea what she was talking about.
The guy you beat in the discus ended up winning the walking because you got disqualified. All right, Austin, state your case real quick.
Well, here's the deal. When it comes to team games, I don't have a lot of accolades, but I don't need no damn team games because I am a man on my own. Mano y mano, state qualified wrestler, okay? When it comes to strength and speed, well, maybe not speed, but strength. I've got pure, unadulterated strength from the time I was born until today even. Let me tell you something, brother. There is no man who can take down the hips of Austin Pastolka. There is no man who is more furious and chaotic when it comes to pro wrestling, regular wrestling, amateur wrestling. You cannot take me down, and I want to see you try. And that is why I am the most athletic person of the group. Also, I'm a foot taller than Mike, so anything he says does not matter.
God, this is so easy. I mean, neither of you guys have any accolades, all right, except for Sandlot legend in Ocala.
State qualified wrestler?
And state qualified wrestler in a state that has probably 50 people in the state.
One of the best wrestling states in the country, Mike.
Is Nebraska that?
Nebraska is absolutely.
Okay.
Iowa's number 1. I'll give them that.
What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma's number 2. Then Nebraska, number 3. Okay,
so Austin's throwing out arbitrary ratings that he has no.
Those states argue about wrestling the way we argue about football. It's like us, Texas, and California.
Austin has no idea where Nebraska high school wrestling is ranked. He's just throwing that out. Okay. All area second team baseball at Interlochen High School.
You've already told the story where no one else was even there for that accolade.
There were a paucity of nominations, I will acknowledge, but I did bat 354 as a senior, all area second baseman, second team Gainesville Sun. I played football both ways on the Interlochen High School football team. I was a running back. I was also a cornerback. On defense, I played junior varsity basketball at Interlochen High School, where I scored 4 points during my 8th grade year. Okay? So, those are my... And I made the final cut for the St. John's River Community College baseball team when I tried out at St. John's River Community College baseball team. I still think I got robbed by Coach John Tyndall. All right, who put one of his little Palatka high school players on at second base instead of me. All right, so again, those are my accolades. They're right there. You can go back in the archives and find them. All right, whereas you guys are just, again.
Joke's on you. I haven't hit my peak yet. I'm still growing.
True.
You're only 25 years old. You might not have reached your prime yet.
That's right.
I was such a good athlete in my prime. I still play adult league soccer. I mean, Mike's had to hang it up. Mike's wheels are wobbling over there.
By the way, at the age of again in my 50s, all right, when I faced Brandon Kravitz, who was in his 20s, in a 50-yard dash in the iHeartMedia parking lot, I blew by him, beat him in the 50-yard dash at age 52. All right, and I also beat him in arm wrestling. All right,
I can definitely see both of that.
I can beat anyone at this station in arm wrestling. I'll tell you that now.
I would not take on Pistolkin.
That's right. You would not.
All right, let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, FM 96.9 The Game, the home of Orlando City Soccer Club.
What you reading there, honey?
It's very exciting stuff, you see. It's the front page of the internet.
Here we go with the front page of the internet this morning. We start off on YouTube's trending page where a video from Gus Johnson is getting some love. It is how PG movies used to be, and it's pointing out how PG movies used to be just all innuendo and all jokes for the adults that kids wouldn't understand. You guys remember watching those with your kids and getting all the adult jokes, right?
Which show?
All like PG movies. Like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like Shrek and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the best part of the movie, and the best part, me growing up being like, oh, I get these jokes now.
That's how they got parents to want to watch those movies. Because normally, like, if you're watching, like 101 Dalmatians, a parent would be like, oh, God.
Right. Great. We got
I used to love those, watching the 101 Dalmatians or Bambi or Jungle Book. I used to love all those.
Absolutely.
I used to love watching Barney. I had a Barney CD that we'd play in the car. Barney singing songs. Awesome.
My mom still will sing the I like to how does it go? I like to eat apples and bananas. That was like the CD or the cassette tape that I played constantly.
I had that one.
What is that?
Absolutely, I did.
It teaches you the vowels. I like to apples and bananas.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yes!
Never heard of it.
Really?
Never once. Never.
Oh, my whole family knows that song by heart because I would play it non-stop on car rides. That was back before DVDs were in
You'd be
cars.
walking.
I like to eat apples and bananas.
There we go.
Yeah.
This is the first time Mike and I have connected on something.
Yeah. I still have the CD. I still play it.
Hell
Even though
yeah.
my kids are long gone. Yeah.
Happy birthday today to one of the great actors, played the Joker in 1989's Batman. It is Jack Nicholson.
Ooh, man. Jack Nicholson, he's got to be 84.
God, I want to go greater than 84. I'll go 85.
He's 84 years old
Is
today.
he right on the money?
Well done, Mike. Right on the money. Trending on funny text conversation is trending across Reddit today. Apparently, drug dealers are now doubling as helping get the vaccine out to people. This is a real text conversation that someone had with their weed dealer. The dealer says, letting you know, I got Pfizer if you're into it. And they respond, wait, you have the vaccine? He goes, no, I'll fill out the paperwork and I'll sell you some gummies for $15 for the next day. Okay, but I'll fill out the paperwork for you. So, even drug dealers are trying to get people to get the vaccine these days.
So what is this? Is this just some random text?
Random text conversation that someone posted was like, I can't believe this is a real conversation I had with my drug dealer. So that's fun.
I remember the first time I heard of Pfizer is when they came out with the blue pill, like way back when.
Me too.
I had a friend of mine. So I'm in like my 20s. I have a friend of mine who his buddy was a pharmaceutical rep for Pfizer.
Yeah.
And when I tell you he had a trash bag full of 2-pill samples, and he's like, you want some of these? And I've never done a drug in my life. Okay, I said no. I said, I don't take aspirin. You know why I don't take aspirin? Because I don't want my body to think I need aspirin to not get a headache, okay? And I don't want my body to think I need those. All right? I want my body to work the way it's supposed to work. I'm 20, okay? I don't need that.
And finally, we all love a good White Claw, don't we? Hard seltzers?
No.
Well, guess what? White Claws are going even harder.
I saw this.
White Claw Surge. Jumping up from 5% alcohol to 8% alcohol.
What does a regular beer have? What does Mike's Bud Light have?
About 4.5%.
Yeah.
So why are we making beers like twice as strong?
Because it totally changes the flavor and no one would drink it. Because more.
I actually like seltzers.
I do too. I'm a big fan. So be on the lookout for White Claw Surge coming out soon. And available in some areas, but I haven't found it yet. And the moment I do, you know what I'm doing.
Be on the lookout for your goofy aunt. You know, once she's had 2 White Claws now, she'll be unbearable.
I love me some White Claws.
God, Austin or Adam was just talking about the Pfizer and Viagra. I remember when Viagra sponsored. I don't remember who the driver was in NASCAR, but they sponsored Viagra. It was like early days of Viagra.
It was the number 6 car.
Yeah, no. It was. I think the guy's name might have been, I don't know, Jeff Fuller. Say his name was Jeff Fuller. But yeah, they sponsored his car, but there was an issue with it. He couldn't get the hood down. Man, it was unbelievable.
Oh my!
Nice! Oh my gosh!
Yeah, the hood would not go down. Yeah,
that's impressive.
Hold on, I'm trying to look at. Yeah, it was the 6 car.
I don't know who
it was.
It was. You know, I don't know why I remembered, but it was. It was the 6 car.
Who was it?
It just shows
does it show a picture of the hood up, and they're just trying to get it down. They can't slam it.
Man.
I think the best part would have been
it lasts for more than 4 hours.
Had the first year they'd been the 6 car, and then the next year they switched it to the 10 car.
Oh.
All right, straight ahead we have the From our text line 50857, we were just talking about Brett Favre, and Austin played the clip of Brett Favre talking about the Derek Chauvin verdict, and I guess that's become controversial. It doesn't matter what he said. Why is he talking about it is the problem. Well, again, everybody was talking about it, and I believe he was on was he on a podcast, Austin? Is that where that came from?
Yeah, he was on his own podcast, Bowling with Favre. Bowling with
but his own podcast has like a moderator. Is that it? Who was?
Yeah. They have a moderator.
And I think the moderator asked him about it, so he answered the question. Can you imagine if he'd said, "I have no comment"? Then probably people.
Well, I mean, they would have deleted that part of the podcast. I hope.
If he'd have said no comment, what is he? Why does he have no comment on this?
This is what I said. I said yesterday. You made fun of me for referencing water coolers and stuff. Wait a minute. We all do this stuff. I mean, we all talk about the Derek Chauvin thing. What makes LeBron James they're still human beings. I get it that their platform is bigger and so their voice carries further and they have more people that listen to them. Mm-hmm. But I mean, these guys are doing what it is that we do every day. When the microphone's off, when the microphone's on, we're talking about these things. Dude, these people aren't athletes that you just turn off and on like a robot. Like, okay, let me wind you up during a basketball game, and then at the end, you're not a member of society. You're not a citizen of this country. You're not a human being on this planet. Of course, they're going to talk about it. We just choose to listen to these people and either agree with them, disagree with them, and move on, or disagree with these people and then make a fuss out of it. And I used. To use both sides of the political spectrum, I use Ted Nugent as the example on the other side. What does Ted Nugent have to do with anything politically? Why is Ted Nugent on Fox News? You know why? Because somebody asked him to go on Fox News. And then he gives his opinion, and then people on the left go, oh, that guy's way wrong. Oh, it's crazy. And the same thing people do with LeBron or now Brett Favre in this case, or whatever other actor, Tim Robbins. Oh, Tim Robbins, such a a liberal. Listen, these guys are all still human beings. I mean, they're not just actors. They're not just athletes. Just the same as Mike's not just a writer. Austin's not just a producer. I'm not just some guy. So I don't understand why people go nuts.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But and this is a jumping off point for the LeBron James tweet yesterday that he has since deleted. All right. So LeBron James tweeted a photo of Officer Nicholas Reardon, who was white. And if you haven't seen the body cam video, all right. So Micaiah Bryant, she's a 16-year-old black girl in Columbus, Ohio. All right. She was shot and killed by this white police officer, Nicholas Reardon. All right. And so LeBron James yesterday tweeted a photo of Nicholas Reardon with the accompanying caption, quote, in all capital letters, "You're next, #accountability." And then he had an hourglass emoji along with it, all right? So I told you what happened. Body cam footage released by the Columbus Police Department showed Reardon getting out of his car at a house where police had been dispatched by 911 because somebody said they were being physically attacked. As the officer works toward a group of people in the driveway, Micaiah Bryant can be seen swinging a knife wildly at another girl or woman, all right, who falls backwards, essentially at the foot of the police officer. The officer shouts several times to get down, get down. Bryant then charges at another girl who was pinned against the car, and from a few feet away, the officer fires, I believe, it was 4 shots, and Bryant is killed right there. The knife is lying beside her on the sidewalk. So LeBron James tweeted that about the officer, "You're next, accountability." And it was relating to his tweet after Derek Chauvin was convicted, rightfully, of murder, the murder of George Floyd. And LeBron James tweeted right after the verdict one single word: accountability. All right. So in a lot of people's mind, LeBron James is comparing this officer to Derek Chauvin. So LeBron James took the tweet down, which I'm glad he did. He explained in a tweet afterwards why he deleted it. All right. And here's what he said. Anger doesn't do, he actually said anger does any of us any good. What he meant to say is anger doesn't do any of us any good, and that includes myself. Gathering all the facts and educating does, though. My anger still is here for what happened to that little girl, my sympathy for her family, and may justice prevail. He tweeted later, I'm so damn tired of seeing black people killed by police. I took the tweet down because it's being used to create more hate. This isn't about one officer. It's about the entire system, and they always use our words to create more racism. I am so desperate for more, and then in all caps, accountability. All right. So, again, he took the tweet down. He tried to clarify. Go ahead. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. All right. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't like the second tweet where he's sort of blaming people for taking his original tweet the wrong way. I don't like these sort of apology type tweets. But and you said you just said, hey, these athletes are human. They're talking about things we're talking about. Here's where I disagree with you. All right. LeBron James, and we spent all day yesterday talking about how athletes are using their voices and their forums like never before. And you even said, hey, but these athletes have a lot bigger forum than we have. They're influencers. They influence public opinion. I agree with all of that. Here's my problem with LeBron James' tweet yesterday. If you're going to use that voice, if you're going to use that massive influence that we talk about, then you need to use it responsibly. And on this occasion, yesterday, I don't think LeBron James used his massive influence responsibly. I'm glad he took the tweet down. I wasn't thrilled with the second tweet of him explaining himself, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Just like I'll give Brett Favre the benefit of the doubt.
The way it read to me, as you kind of chronologically place them, it sounds like, and because I have one of my best friends calls me all the time when these things happen and asks me my opinion on them and stuff. And the other day he was asking me about one of these incidents, and I said, I haven't seen the video yet. And he's like, dude, you need to see the video before we talk about it. I want you to see the video. And so that it almost sounds like his first tweet, he didn't see the video. And
he didn't see the victim pinned against the car with this other girl,
right,
with a knife in her hand.
What it sounds like to me is he tweeted after reading a headline: police officer shoots young black girl. Police officers have a very difficult job. I'll always reiterate that. A job I don't want. You couldn't give it to me. It is a difficult job. But one of their jobs is to protect us, all right, to serve and to protect. Do I think that there have been people, that have died at the hands of police that didn't deserve to die? Absolutely.
Yeah. George Floyd.
George Floyd's a perfect example of that. In that split second, this young woman was threatening the life of another citizen. Could he have used non-lethal force? Could he have used the taser in that moment? Maybe. But in that moment right there, I'm still saying, hey, listen, let's discuss this and let's see what the protocols are with the. This is different than George Floyd. Now, again, it sounds like to me that LeBron tweeted initially emotionally, which a lot of people do, then maybe saw the video and goes, okay, wait a minute, this isn't like George Floyd. Okay, let me delete it and then kind of try to walk it back without admitting, hey guys, I'm sorry, I didn't see this at first, and I didn't realize that this guy may have in fact been following all the rules, may have done the right thing. And this is because, believe me, there's other examples he could have used. Who's that? Oh, who's the Elijah McClain kid? There are a bunch of examples he could use with the "You're Next" accountability hashtag, and I'm not against that. but he tweeted without. I believe he tweeted without seeing the video, which is bad on him.
That's my issue. And that's my issue. And Austin said earlier, "Hey, well, you're a journalist, and you're gonna take great care about what you put out on social media." I think LeBron. Again, LeBron is much more of an influencer than some sports writer in Orlando.
But he's not trained. He's not trained to do that.
The point.
That's the thing.
Okay, but again, LeBron James has been in the public eye since he was 14 years old. He is media savvy. The guy knows how the media works. He knows how social media works.
Mike, we had a president for 4 years that tweeted without thinking. Okay.
Yes, I understand.
He was the leader of the free world.
Absolutely.
Yes. Okay. Yes. All right. So I'm going to say this. All right. I'll probably piss off some of our listeners out there. I think LeBron James is more credible than our president was. Okay.
Damn!
Okay. I'll say that. I think LeBron James is more responsible, or should be more responsible, than some of the stuff our former president treated.
But my point is that you look at even people of these high status, of high status. Listen, they're tweeting from this place of emotion, and they aren't journalists, and they're not. Their first thought isn't, let me get it right. Let me get it. It's instead, let me get it now. Okay. And that is, but we could probably all learn that lesson, to be honest with you.
Yeah. But there was you guys know who Benjamin Crump is?
No.
Benjamin Crump is a famous civil rights attorney. And when this Ma'Khia Bryant incident happened, he originally got on Twitter and he fanned the flames as well. He tweeted, police kill another unarmed black youth. All right. And again,
that's not true.
I guess he didn't see the video either. Again, I just think if you're these media savvy, whether you're an attorney like Benjamin Crump or you're a superstar athlete like LeBron James, who's been in the media since he was 14 years old, I think you need to be more responsible before you press that button. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's we'll continue the conversation. Also, let's talk about something inspirational. All right, let's talk about something like Keyontae Johnson trying to make a comeback for the Gators. That's next on Open Mic.
Time to put the pedal to the floor. It's loud and live and local. Oh, time for open mic.
Oh, play that guitar. Yeah. We are loud, live, and local. Welcome back to Open Mic. I'm Mike Bianchi, the Bulldog sports columnist of the Orlando Sentinel, joined as always by Adam Reardon, the deceptive intellect, and Austin Pastolka, the Sultan of Sound.
Yeah.
Together we are Open Mic, the troika of sports talk radio excellence in the megalopolis we call home, right here in Central Florida. Your next chance at $1,000 coming up 8:10 a.m. this morning. And right after that, Brandon Kravitz is going to join us about 8:17 this morning. Got a lot to talk to Kravitz about. That'll be at 8:17 a.m.
Hey, do you
this
guys
morning.
smell that? Do you
What?
smell it? I believe that's Mike being absolutely roasted on our text line. If you can, after his comment.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, you're talking about the Trump
Yeah,
LeBron
the text line.
comment?
The text
he
line
knew that was
is
coming.
lit up right now with people.
Actually, most people are defending me.
That is
Actually,
true.
most people not for
Oh.
that tweet, or not for that statement, but for me calling out LeBron, saying he needs to be more responsible before he puts out stuff on Twitter. And here are a couple of people commenting on our text line 50857. LeBron needs to think about what he puts out. With great power comes great responsibility. Exactly. Exactly.
Nice Spider-Man
Mike
reference.
Mike is right. LeBron is a business owner, athlete, and influencer. He needs to be much more responsible. What else? Well, some of the other ones are sort of divisive, if you will. I'm not,
Listen, if you really want to upset or get on, really want to hammer Mike, go subscribe to the Orlando Sentinel and get into his inbox there. That'd be good.
Oh, yeah. Do
That's the way to
Orlando
really
Sentinel.
bother him.
Yeah, great digital subscription price right now as well. So go to OrlandoSentinel.com, subscribe, and then you can talk to me directly.
Those are the
Plug.
those are the mean tweets that really get him in the feels right there.
Really?
These ones
Yeah,
right here, these free
absolutely.
ones, these free texts, he just brushes those off. You really want to get under his skin, you got to subscribe and then hammer him.
Okay, here's a text I don't even get, all right? I don't even get this tweet or text. So now we are defending LeBron for another outrageous tweet. I can't say I'm surprised coming from this crew. Did I defend LeBron? Did it? I mean, Adam was sort of given, and again, I'll give LeBron the benefit of the doubt. He took down the tweet, but I called out LeBron for the original tweet. I said it was irresponsible. He needs, how am I defending him? Does anybody want to explain that to me?
Well,
Do people not listen?
No, they don't. All they heard was, "I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt," and then said, "Oh, he's a
that's it.
defender.
That's
He's
it.
a LeBron James defender."
Good grief. God. I spent like 5 minutes talking about, hey, if you're going to be a great influencer, you need to think before you press the button.
You know what's funny about this? You know what's hilarious about this? This guy sends this text, right? Hit send. I mean, he typed it all out and hit send real fast without really gathering all the information first, which is the fact that
Interesting.
you didn't defend LeBron. You know, I may have given him the benefit of the doubt and tried to listen to the entire thing and then read all the tweets and go back to everything. And I, maybe explain it. But you didn't defend him at all, really. You said, listen, you can't do this. You have this responsibility. But this guy didn't get all the information first, and he hit send.
No, here's what it is. And it bothers me, all right? Sometimes it doesn't matter what you say, all right? And again, it's the crack cocaine of cable news that breeds this, all right? Yeah, you only watch what you agree with. It's the same on social media. You only follow people that you agree with, and you hear what you want to hear. People only hear what they want to hear. This guy has in his mind that Bianchi's some liberal sports. He's a member of the liberal media. I'm not a member of the liberal media. I've told you guys many times. I voted for Ronald Reagan. I voted for George W. Bush. I voted for Mitt Romney. My sister wouldn't talk to me for 6 weeks because I voted for Mitt Romney. I'm not a freaking liberal. Austin's a freaking liberal, yes.
Yeah, damn straight.
Adam's a freaking liberal, yes.
I voted independent the last 2 presidential elections. Thank you. Thank you.
I'll own it.
Yeah.
Yes. Austin, if Austin had been alive in the 70s, he would have voted for George McGovern. Okay?
Listen, me and Stan Van Gundy, we're best of friends now.
You would have voted for Hubert Horatio Humphrey. Okay?
Don't know who these people are, but maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Listen, I knew for darn sure who I wasn't voting for, and then I just couldn't at the end of the day find myself voting for the other. So I went right in the middle the last 2 elections.
I have a thought that could really piss off our entire audience.
No, don't say it.
Don't say it?
Hey, I told somebody asked me who I voted for once. I said, in the end of the day, I just didn't want to be on either side. So I voted for Joe Jorgensen. And somebody says, who's he?
Goodness.
I said that's where we are politically. That's where you're too busy looking far left, too busy looking far right. You don't see what's right in the middle. That's where we should be. Joe Jorgensen. I don't know who he is either.
All right, let's pause for station identification.
WYGM Orlando, WJRR HD2 Cocoa Beach, W245CL Deltona. This is FM 96.9 The Game. You feel that?
I can feel it.
We're about to blast off.
Just hook it to my veins!
It's time for the blast.
That's right. It is time for the blast here on Open Mic. The blast brought to you by Frank Gay Services. If you need an electrician or a plumber and you need them right now, go to frankgayservices.com. They will hook you up with all of your electrician and plumber needs. That's frankgayservices.com. Let's start off with the Twitter controversy. Open Mic Supplemental Poll number 1. Who deserves more criticism for their controversial tweets in the wake of the Derek Chauvin verdict? LeBron James or Raiders owner Mark Davis?
All right, listen, texter out there. All right, listen to this.
They're already gone.
Listen to me. LeBron James deserves more criticism. First of all, I think people were looking for reasons to be outraged with Mark Davis, the owner of the Raiders. I mean, George Floyd's own brother, Philonise Floyd, came out yesterday, issued a statement in support of Mark Davis, in support of the Raiders. If George Floyd's family doesn't have a problem with it, then why the hell should we? All right? LeBron James, I'll say it again. If you're LeBron James and people look up to you and you are an influencer in this country, all right? And he is a massive influencer. He is the biggest superstar athlete we have in this country. He is a role model to many. If you're going to be that guy, all right, you need to be more responsible about what you put on social media. And LeBron James' original tweet yesterday was irresponsible. It lacked credibility. And he deserves to be criticized and criticized heavily for it.
Yeah,
I did not defend LeBron James.
And if you're still listening, imagine this. I'm going to go with LeBron James as well because I believe after reading all the tweets that he tweeted the initial one by just reading a headline somewhere and didn't watch the video and didn't see that police officer. Now, again, there'll be an investigation and whatnot into what is the correct protocol in dealing with somebody with a knife. Whether or not you should go to deadly force immediately. I don't know that. LeBron doesn't know that. You don't know that. And nobody knows that at this point. But he needed to see the video first before just tweeting out, this is not the same thing as Derek Chauvin and what happened there. And that was irresponsible of LeBron. And he deleted it and then tried to walk it back a little bit. And then with the Mark Davis and they came from a good spot. They just missed the landing. I mean, they were a gymnast who didn't stick the landing on that with some of the verbiage.
Say what you said earlier. If they would have changed, if Mark Davis had changed one word.
Yep. Yeah. We can breathe.
Totally different tweet.
Totally different tweet, because we were all holding our breath and we can all breathe together. together that justice was served and that this young, this man didn't die in vain, that there was some justice for him.
With 71% of the vote, LeBron James wins this one. Thought-provoking daily poll time. If both players return healthy and are back in the starting lineup next season, who would be the more inspirational comeback story? Gators basketball star Keyontae Johnson, Florida State quarterback McKenzie Milton, or is it too close to call?
I mean, the easy answer here would be too close to call. They are great. They would be great. Both be great motivational, inspirational stories. Keyontae Johnson came out yesterday on social media and said he's working to get back next year to play for the Gators. He just needs to have medical clearance. So, again, we all know what happened with Keyontae Johnson. Frightening. When he was playing against Florida State in December and collapsed on the court. We all feared the worst. We were talking about Hank Gathers and comparing Keyontae Johnson. Is this going to be the next Hank Gathers? We didn't know. All right, he goes to the hospital. He's in a coma, and finally he comes out of the coma and recovers to a point where he was sitting on the bench for the Gators as a de facto coach this past season. All right, so too close to call is the easy answer, but I'm going to go McKenzie Milton here because McKenzie Milton is playing a sport in football. He almost had his leg amputated, nerve damage. He had to rehab, over 2 years to get back to a point where he could even run again. I don't know what Keyontae Johnson's medical issues were, but if he's cleared to play, he's not going to have to go through the excruciating rehab that McKenzie Milton had to go through to get back on a football field and play a much more violent sport than basketball.
Both guys, hats off to both these guys for battling back and getting back to, fingers crossed, where they want to be. Willis McGahee, he did it. Alex Smith has done it. Maybe McKenzie Milton's the next to do it. But again, when you start talking about a guy collapsing, at the peak of his physical existence, going into a coma. I mean, and not really at this moment for us, at least, not knowing exactly what it is. Still, apparently not having medical clearance to go ahead and play basketball again. If he makes it back, to me, that's even more impressive because I think, with all due respect to losing your leg, which is terrible, when you're in a coma, you're in a life-threatening situation. That's life-threatening, so that's a little bit different. So you hate to choose a side on this one, but I'll go with Keyontae Johnson.
55% of the vote says McKenzie Milton.
I'm local. I'm a couple
Local.
UCF fans.
Yeah. Supplemental poll number 2. Would you rather...
Actually, they teamed up. UCF and FSU teamed up on the Gators there.
There you go.
That's it.
No. Yeah.
Supplemental poll number 2. Would you rather see Daryl DK back playing for Orlando City soon or see the team get $20 million from a European team for selling his contract? Give me Daryl DK or give me that money.
Well, stop it. First of all, you're not getting the money if you're an Orlando City fan, all right? Flavio's getting the money, and he's not, as Adam said earlier, he's not divvying it up among the season ticket holders and saying, here's a little bit for you. No, Flavio is on the verge of selling Orlando City. If he gets $20 million, he could just put that in his pocket and sell the team. Hell no. Give me Daryl DK back on the pitch for Orlando City. I don't care about the $20 million.
Yeah, no, as an Orlando City fan, there's only one way to answer here. You want DK back. You want the goals because, as we mentioned, you're not going to be in the wall one day going, hey, what's Flavio doing there with that big giant wallet? And he's handing out cash. Is that the DK money? We're getting DK money? What's he doing here? That ain't happening. So, yes, as a fan, you want Daryl DK back. But I'll say that if you're a fan of U.S. soccer, the national team, and you want to see them progress at some point to compete, to go deep in the you want Daryl DK playing in Europe. You want him to continue his progression as a professional footballer, and he is well on his way in Europe.
I'll be dead by the time the U.S. national team is competing for World Cup.
I just said I caught myself and said competing to advance, to go kind of deep. All right,
to actually advance to the World Cup.
Listen, yeah, but right, Sweet 16, something like that, and the Elite 8.
Oh man, we got to buzz through the last. 61% says, "Give me that money."
What?
61%.
Oh,
What?
You're not
what it
getting
says.
the money.
We got buzzed through these last ones. Supplemental poll number 3. Should the NFL Comeback Player of the Year trophy be named after recently retired Alex Smith? Yes or no?
No. I mean, there have been a lot of players who've made great comebacks. Was Alex Smith the most recent? Yes. I'm going to go no on that.
Yeah, I'm going no. Frank Gore is playing on basically 2 reconstructed knee multiple times, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. Make it the Frank Gore trophy when he retires, please.
With 63...
Spoken like a true hurricane.
I know.
Ah, there it is. 63% of the vote says yes.
Okay.
Supplemental poll number 4. In their prime, which member of Open Mic do you think was the best athlete? Mike Bianchi, Adam Reardon, or Austin Pastolka?
Okay. Again, I've got credentials, all area, second team baseball at second base at Interlochen High School. Played on the football team, was a star on both sides of the ball,
Right.
cornerback and running back. Also played junior varsity basketball, where I scored 4 points my 8th grade season, and I made the last cut at the St. John's River Community College baseball team during my freshman year of college.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. It's me. I mean, I was such a great athlete in my prime that I still am able to be athletic now in my close to mid 40s.
Listen, 1v1, I'm better than everybody on this entire show. Hell, maybe even this radio station, brother. Am I faster? No. But am I bigger and stronger? Absolutely.
Austin, I've seen you play basketball.
Bro, I know.
Listen, no
Anybody who
basketball.
plays basketball as bad as you cannot be an athlete.
Austin would have fouled out in like 3 minutes with all the moving picks. I couldn't get past him. He wrapped his arms
why
around
is
me.
that? Because I'm really strong.
He's really strong. No, I said that. Well, I went home. I was like, this guy's like from Nebraska. He's like, it's like
just terrible.
I said I ran
No
into him.
agility. No.
At that point, I was like 230 at that point. I was
Yeah.
like, I ran into this guy. He didn't move at all. Like, it was like, boom. I was like hitting a wall.
45% of the vote says Adam Reardon.
Ooh.
Mike Bianchi in second place with 31%, and nobody cares. Speed is fun, apparently. That's what people want. They want speed.
It's still early in Nebraska. We gotta get the
That is
get
true.
the late reporting vote.
That is correct. And finally, the Open Mic Would You Rather poll. Which reality show would you rather be on, Survivor or Hell's Kitchen? And the caveat here is if you are on Hell's Kitchen, then yes, you have the ability to be a good cook, kind of thing.
Okay, I've never seen Hell's Kitchen. Explain it real quick.
Hell's Kitchen is where Gordon Ramsay brings in professional chefs and cooks and all that, brings them into his restaurant and has them run the restaurant, compete to run his restaurant, and he just yells at them.
And the winner at the end gets to be the executive chef at one of his famous restaurants around the world.
I am a survivor. Put me on a desert island somewhere. Give me a couple of coconuts, and I'm going to survive, all right? Give me Survivor. I'm a tough guy. I'm not going to compete to see who's the better cook. Good Lord.
I'd rather be on Hell's Kitchen.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or lobster risotto. I want to learn how to make lobster risotto.
All right, there you go. And that's why Adam Reardon should not have won the athlete
No
poll
drive.
right there.
No drive,
What are you
this
talking
guy.
about? What are you talking about?
He just wants the
This
ability
guy
to
wants
cook.
to sit around drinking coconuts all day. I'm in there working. This guy's just sitting around lounging around on the beach. His bad knee. Come on.
58% of the vote says Hell's Kitchen.
All right, straight ahead. By the way, I'm going to challenge Adam Reardon right now. Let's settle this. I'm going to challenge you, like I did Kravitz years ago, to a 50-yard dash in the iHeartMedia parking lot. All right?
Okay.
I still think I...
So for the record, before I sound like a total wuss, Austin could attest to this. I have a sciatic nerve issue.
That's right. He is.
I've been battling it for 3 weeks. I literally just asked him, have you ever been to one of these stretching places? I've got the sciatic nerve issue.
Yep.
So running right now is not going to be
confirm.
in my you want to do it like a long drive competition, a 3-point shooting competition.
How about this? I'll wait for your bad back to heal. How about
It's
that?
like in my hip and leg.
It's your glute.
I got all kinds of
I've had
problem.
sciatica. I'll give you some stretching exercise.
Sciatica.
Oh my
Yeah.
Goodness. Anyone want to be in a bench press competition? Deadlifting?
No, but you know what? I'm going to challenge you to arm wrestling. I've got old man strength. I think I might be able to take you. Yeah.
And technique too. By the way, if you master the arm wrestling technique, if you learn to go over the top, if you can kind of, have you ever seen you've seen the movie? Watch over the top, turn your hat backwards, and then you can't lose. That's what I learned from that movie.
Absolutely.
Get Kenny Loggins singing behind you is an unbeatable combination.
All right, straight ahead, Brendan Kravitz is going to join us. Every Thursday at this time, Brandon Kravitz, host of In the Zone, right here on FM 96.9 The Game, 3 to 6 p.m. every weekday. He joins us to talk about sports, talk about what's going to be on his show, talk about what we've been talking about. Kravs, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm having major internet issues at my house. I mean, it's 2021. How do we not have this figured out by now? Just a clean, smooth internet connection. That's all I ask for.
Right? So hey, you're on a cell phone? You sound pretty good for a cell phone, though.
Well, it's a nice cell phone. This is the iPhone 11, Mike, so I spare no expense.
Well, I still have a landline at my house. I'm old school. So
Yeah, they try. I think Xfinity tried to give away one of those to me, and I'm like, I'm all set. Thank you.
It's actually good if you're going to be on the radio. Landline sounds. We all. I mean, you've had people on as guests on your show with a cell phone, and periodically they just don't work very well. So anyway.
Well, Mike, I do make the occasional radio hit around the country, but I don't think I'm as popular as the Bulldog. I don't go on Feinbaum's show or anything, so I think I'm in the clear for now.
Good point. All right, Brandon. Adam, before we get into the sports topics of the day, Adam Austin and I have been arguing about who was the better athlete among us in our prime. As somebody who has felt the wrath of even my old man athletic ability, can you tell these guys that in my prime I must have been amazing?
I don't know if I'd go as far as amazing, because beating me in a race really isn't as impressive as I think you make it out to be.
And in arm wrestling.
Okay, so here's the deal. For those out there listening that want the other side of the story, Bianchi legitimately beat me in a race. Now, I came up lame with a hamstring cold, but that's more pathetic than an excuse. So Mike would have beaten me anyway. I just happened to get injured in the process. However, we set it up so that you would beat me, because the bet was at the time that if you beat me, I would leave the show, and I was planning to leave the show anyway. So that was about as pro wrestling as it gets. We set up a race knowing that you were faster than me, because I am slower than molasses. I think Austin might be the only person that works at the building that I could beat in a race.
Yeah, you're probably right.
In terms of the arm wrestling match, I will still take this to my grave. At that time in my life, now, Mike, you are strong, and it was a tough battle, but you did the old man cheat code arm wrestling move. We're very early on in our arm wrestling match. You curled the wrist, which is against protocol, and I couldn't beat you. Had there been an official referee in that situation, you would have been disqualified, and I would have won. I contend that I could have beaten you. Now, I don't weight lift the way that I used to, so maybe you could beat me today. You do have ridiculous old man strength, but I contend that I still would have beaten you back then.
Okay, but after the wristband, I did come back and beat you. You left that part out.
Well, yeah, you beat me because of the wristband. That's a disqualification. It's like in pro wrestling, hitting someone over the head with a steel chair. Can't do it.
Yeah, but you still could have put forth the effort not to get beaten by me after the wristband.
Wait, time out. I need a 20-second timeout here. Did the wristband happen before the initial okay, go?
Go.
Because no. The wristband happened in the middle of the match.
Yeah, I think that's legal though.
You just hooked
I think that's legal.
I'm pretty sure that's legal.
I don't think so.
According to World Arm Wrestling League aficionado Austin Postolka.
No. There's a reason why in a legitimate arm wrestling match, the referee goes across with if that starts happening, they go across with that band so that they keep both wrists locked.
That's for anti-slippage.
That's so the hands don't slip off each other. The goal is to start even, and then whoever gets control first gets that wristband. Basically has the sort of the inside track, if you will. They have the leverage advantage.
You guys work with Mike every day. I think there's some biases.
Listen, there's nothing we'd like more than to bring him down a peg or two. Are you kidding me? But right is right here.
I want people texting in that actually know arm wrestling rules and analysis at 50857.
I'm gonna actually I'm gonna give Kravitz a little safety net here. when we arm wrestled, I demanded that we not do the thumb arm wrestling. We just locked hands and not thumbs. Yeah, that was the technique.
Monkey gripped it? Like
What?
I think
Yeah.
What is this?
I think I pulled a tendon in my wrist. So that's 2 athletic competitions against Bianchi, 2 injuries for Brandon Kravitz.
Oh, well, now I'm getting nervous.
And I also heard that Mike went to GNC and got this new creatine that if you tested it now.
I wouldn't deny it. Back to the original question, I do believe, after competing against Mike in multiple competitions, fair or not, that Mike was probably a pretty good athlete in his prime. I will say that.
Okay, there you have it. Thank you for the backhanded compliment.
You're
welcome. Hey, real quick. Well, not real quick. You can talk as long as you want. You're the program director. LeBron James. He tweeted, then deleted a tweet about another police shooting last night, sort of comparing the officer to Derek Chauvin, saying you're next, accountability. And again, very controversial tweet, very controversial that LeBron took it down. Your thoughts on LeBron James? I think he should be much more responsible before he tweets something out.
Well, absolutely. And I think he admits that. And isn't that what we want? He does have social influence. I heard your point on that. He needs to be more responsible than the average Joe out there that's just throwing a tweet or a Facebook post against the wall. But we need to remember the context of the moment. We were all hyper emotional because you're waiting for this verdict, one side or the other, whatever it is, the aftermath that could come of it, everything that led up to that point, the summer of last year. And there was this finality to it and finding out that decision. And then immediately after you find that out, you hear about a 15-year-old girl that gets shot by a cop. And the emotions that are already swirling just get drudged up again. And then you fire off a tweet. And so it was irresponsible. It was also in an emotional moment. It's not to defend LeBron. That's me defending anybody that does that, because I think if people out there are saying, well, I don't do that, you're lying to yourself. If you're active on social media and there are things that you're passionate about, but it's happened to you before, Mike. I mean, you've deleted tweets. I've deleted tweets. Like we've said stuff out where you sit back and go, that's not right. Either somebody calls you out or you call yourself out. Do you realize?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I have deleted tweets. You're right. Yeah. Okay.
So LeBron did that, and he gets hyper emotional about the situation. The fact that he took ownership of it, at the end of the day, and I don't know how popular this opinion is going to be. I don't think that we should compare one officer to the other. But can't we look at a situation and go, is the only route to diffuse a situation that is dangerous? I'm not saying that this cop should be demonized. I'm not demonizing the cop. But just the situation of the only way to de-escalate a situation is to shoot a 15-year-old multiple times. There has to be a better way than that. That should be the discussion. And if we can have one that's productive, let's do that.
So first of all, she was 16, and I'm sure the officer probably didn't know how old she was at the time. All right, when he shot her, and she was wielding a knife, and she had another girl pinned up against the car with this knife in her hands. And again, I'm not gonna. Again, let's see what happens. Let's see what the facts are. But no, I don't think if you saw that video, I don't think you should compare this officer to Derek Chauvin, which in my opinion is what LeBron was sort of doing.
Absolutely not. And the fact that he apologized for it, I commend him for that. I think it's hard sometimes. You get caught up in the moment and your pride takes over, and there's a part of what you said that you meant, but not all of it. And people start calling you out to kind of just build the wall up even higher and defend yourself blindly. And he didn't do that. And so I at least respect that. For the people out there that say, oh, the NBA needs to step up and they need to discipline him for that. Are you kidding me? Because Myers Leonard, who uttered a anti-Semitic slur, is about as hateful as you can get, I think got slapped with like a $15,000 fine for that. That was extremely derogatory. LeBron made a mistake and took it down immediately. And I think we're okay just sort of living in that space. He should be called out for it, but we should also commend him for taking ownership of it.
What do we have on In the Zone this afternoon?
I am going to continue my top 10 draft preview sessions. I am highlighting a team within the top 10 of the NFL draft every single day leading up to the draft itself. Austin Gale from PFF.com, Pro Football Focus, will join us to talk about a variety of different players that could end up popping up in the first round. Kadarius Toney, Kyle Trask from the Gators, and a whole lot more. I'm looking forward to it.
That is In the Zone with Brandon Kravitz and Stefan, 3 to 6 p.m. right here.